Guys, what's going on? In this SolidWorks video, I am actually going to take a different approach. I want to explain how SolidWorks Simulation is just one branch of the validation and test engineering process and what that hierarchy looks like, how they relate to each other. It's very important for small businesses and small engineering teams to understand this, who are using SolidWorks in the simulation aspect. So with that, before we get started, guys, subscribe to the channel. If you find it helpful, give it a like, share with your friends. Don't forget, in the description, I'm going to include a link to a free SolidWorks simulation guide that you can click and gain access to. Also, if you want to become a Patreon member, get full access to SolidWorks videos, I will include that in the description as well. That said, let's get started. So, as I was mentioning, SolidWorks simulation should be just one testing method to hypothesize your results and validate your results of whatever problem you're presented with. This simulation is exactly that. It's just a simulation. It's using mathematical models and solvers based on FEA to predict an outcome. This should not be solely the answer, and you should not base your answer solely on these results. I'm going to get into in a second here what other validation methods your engineering team should be using. So in its entirety, this is what the simplified hierarchy of validation and test engineering should look like in validating your results. There's three main branches that you want to be validating and test. There's three main branches that you want to be validating your results with. There's three methods. One is the one that we're most familiar with in the SolidWorks channel, is through simulation, running FEA analyses, whether it's static or dynamic, and getting an outcome based on post-processing. Another method is physical mechanical lab testing. So sending your part in question to a lab that has the professional mechanical equipment that's highly calibrated to then run an actual physical test that mirrors the real world and getting results that way. The third, and probably not the most fun, but maybe, is using your engineering education and skill sets to by hand calculate the results, whether it's reaction forces, von Mises stress, principal stress, safety factor. Having those backup calculations by hand are key in determining that your other result methods are accurate. And then at the end, you want to present to your key stakeholders. So I wanted to break this down even further about how these three validation methods relate to each other. These arrows are arranged in a very particular way. Your mechanical lab testing should be the source of truth. This is going to be your main best way of testing and validating your hypotheses and failures, failure modes, etc. for a part in question. These results, especially testing for different material properties, etc., should factor into how you run your SolidWorks simulations and be used in your given information, assumptions, etc., for your manual calculations. The Manual calculations and SolidWorks simulation highly relate to each other. You can see this cycle here. You can check your simulation results by doing your handwritten backup calculations like reaction forces, and you can check your manual calculations by running the SolidWorks simulation and getting those stress results as well. So these highly relate to each other. You can check your work in either direction. So this is kind of the cycle that you want to follow in validation engineering methods. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a like if you found it helpful. And if you yourself are a mechanical engineer or even an engineering manager looking for more resources to invest in taking your company's skills in SolidWorks to the next level, I do offer a SolidWorks simulation course for small businesses, enterprise level. Check that out on my website. I'll put the link in the description below. If you haven't already, become a Patreon member for full access to SolidWorks content. I'm going to include a free guide in the description as well. We'll see you next time.